Hi, welcome to your general spread. Um, Happy Scorpio new moon. An interesting little feature about this new moon is that it's happening it's happening in sidereal and in tropical in the sign of Scorpio. So please do consider looking up the archetype of Scorpio, as I think that that'll be really helpful in helping us process what we're dealing with right now. This morning, I shifted the deck and this card remained behind. This is the Nine of Rods. This is very anti-Scorpio. If you know any Scorpio, our very specific wounding and personal lesson is to learn how to be vulnerable fearlessly, learn how to show up in intimacy with our entire truth, stop letting go of being scared and defensive, for absolutely no reason. We are so defensive. Lots of work on that, on opening the heart. I did just do an intuitive channeling on this time, so I will link that in the description and you'll check it out if you're interested. Amazing. Oh, beautiful. So we have the moon. And then we have the Three of Discs in reverse. And then beneath the deck, what was all beautiful was the Sun. Let's see what the Three of Discs has to say. It speaks of resentment, frustration, constant dissatisfaction with life, a tendency to concentrate on the miniature of life without ever looking at the bigger picture, boredom, bureaucracy, possible legal difficulties. That's funny. The legal difficulties thing is hilarious, considering how in my reading, in the intuitive channeling that I did, I literally mentioned the case of Nicole Kidman and Tom Cruise and how free she felt after she went through this, essentially. Okay. I think that with these two cards together, firstly, look out for when the moon is full. First and foremost, this is definitely a setting intentions period. Okay, if you're going through some kind of thing like this, where any of these emotions resonate, resentment, frustration, or some kind of dissatisfaction with life, you need to please consider you don't need to, you can do whatever you want. I highly suggest you set intentions, do the action, the actual action, no matter where you are in your stage of relating to this kind of work, to write on a piece of paper whatever it is about this or this emotion itself that you want to let go of and burn it in a fire. That act itself will do a lot for you. It feels like whatever this is extremely subconscious, very much deep within. You could book a therapy session to unpack this, but I don't think it's going to come out in one sitting. I think you might need to book like a month's worth or something. To really get to the bottom of this. It feels so deep and so lodged within, but it will do its thing of revealing itself in due time and over specifically this next moon cycle. This is very important work. It may seem like it's not important. It may seem very but whatever, I can just wait it out. It'll get better. Something about the fact that you're going through this right now is very important. It's not, it feels as though you need to be more engaging with why it is that you feel this, a resentment or a frustration. I'm feeling specifically into that phrase. Those words jumped out to me most. That you may be going through like a sense of despondency or an apathy towards life. That may have been a constant theme for you over the year, this year that I'm reading this, 2025, but always timeless intention. And you thought, I'm receiving the possibility that you thought that you didn't think much of it. Maybe you still don't, but you need to address it. It's very important. And it may be showing up, it can show up in very subtle ways, in like a consistent sense of exhaustion which also could be an illness thing. So maybe you need to, but I'm not receiving that. No, I'm not receiving any health issue. Yeah, it's internal. So sense of exhaustion, not really wanting to do much, having, like I saw today, somebody said that their favorite thing to do is to lie in bed, which is lovely, yes, if you're a Taurus, or a Pisces or something. But if you're like, okay, outside of astrology, if you know yourself to have had a zest for life at some point in your life and you no longer have it, you need to look at it. You need to address that. This card beneath the deck also speaks specifically of inner child work, which I'm also getting the sense of here with all of these cards together. There is this deep subconscious work has to do with your inner child not getting enough attention. Your creative energy feels stifled, but it also feels like it's trying to speak to you. Yeah, it's trying to speak to you. It's trying to like grow a life of its own in a way, and a mouth of its own, and communicate with you through your sense of frustration, resentment, dissatisfaction towards life. That's a freak. It's again, I've been mentioning this word very often in previous readings I've done. It's very anti-human. It's anti-you. But all will be revealed in due time. Please consider writing that paper and burning it, setting new intentions. If you don't have one already, maybe get yourself a dream journal or some kind of like creative process journal, or just write this in your journal. Write what it is that you would like to specifically let go of, that has to do with whatever these thoughts are. Like, I tend to this a lot. This is very much, I know this frequency very well. So when I'm in that stage, I tend to hop and loop on really low vibrational victimhood stuff. So I would write I write about intentions to release victimhood, release shame. I've been doing that a lot over the past few months. Lots of intention placed on releasing shame and guilt, especially that the unnamed kind. I'm getting the sense of like an overworky person thinking that they need to keep working in order to stay safe. Something about you's inner work, that it's essentially overworking your inner child, I want to sit with the words of this energy a little more. Yeah. Yeah. It's subconscious work. That's what I'm getting most of all. Let me shuffle and see what's more. Okay. We have the Queen of Swords and the Two of Discs that appeared first, like upright, like made themselves known. Beautiful to have these two in succession in a reading, the Two of Discs and the Three of Discs. It'll just be a matter of doing work to upright this, which is going to be done regardless. With the moon, it's with these influences and changes, what needs to happen in order for this to go right, in order for this to go upright, will happen anyway, regardless. But you can move the work along by figuring out your intentions. That's part of why setting intentions in ritual and stuff is so important. It's not so much about the act of the ritual. It's about figuring your intentions out. It's about the energy of it, the thoughts and stuff, Then, okay, I'm just going to pick them up. Okay, then we have the Three of Swords and the Five of Discs. So I was moving my hand a lot and I have my gown trails. So I had thought that I spin them around. I thought I affected their uprightness or reverseness. So that's what that was. Anyway, this is also part of the emotion that we're dealing with. This is part of what I think this is about as well. The root of your resentment, I think, is some deep ache that had to do with attachment. Something to do with attachment. Okay. Maybe you're isolating. You may be going through, or maybe this is giving you that sense of it's giving you. Okay, I'm specifically getting into now extending on what this energy looks like, even in little things, is like not going out and not enjoying yourself, not meeting up with friends. And even if it's under the guise of the fact that you need to work or I don't know, think of the common excuses you make not to do the things that you like to do. It feels like I may be reading for somebody who tends to do that. You make a lot of excuses for when the universe provides you with invitations of enjoyment. Like, I don't know. I can't tap into what specifically this may look like. Maybe, okay, practically speaking, you may be the type of person who gets a cash injection, a random bonus. And instead of using that bonus to treat yourself, you put it in savings. Like all of that goes to savings. No. You need to budget for your enjoyments, actually. Put a budget aside. Use some of your money and intentionally save for joy. Put it in a little pocket and label that pocket joy. And make sure you're only spending that money to make you happy. You're only spending that money on things that make you happy. Or your attention, your mind, because the Queen of Swords is also, she's someone who is very scorned by her past. Gorgeous, beautiful, adorned, and very clearly got her shit together. But she's ever prepared for the eruption of this volcano that is not erupting, and that's the point, is to be in the present moment, look at what you're working with. And I think doing that will be able to help you in understanding further about this pain that you seem to act from beyond you. This pain or a sense of needing to make sure you're always safe all the time, like keep it locked in. You also have the Four of Swords at the bottom of the deck. So meditate. Find a meditating practice that works for you. Walking, taking long walks. I get the sense that moon gazing will also be helpful. So whenever the full moon, the next moon cycle that appears, consider moon gazing. If you remember this reading. I feel called to read on the Five of Discs, to touch on the Five of Discs. Lots of discs energy, lots of material, your relationship with your life, sense of how you enjoy your life is changing. Sorry. Okay, so this card, Upright, speaks of moving house, a change of life and circumstance, travel, new opportunities appear after a period of strife and adversity, wonderful follow-up, new opportunities appear after a period of strife and adversity. The current route may be hard, but it may prove beneficial in the long run. And this is actually something that I read on. I read on this in the intuitive channeling, which again, I'll link. And yeah, please consider watching it, as I do mention this frequency in particular, that this is work that you need to do, that you need to put in. That's likely not going to be easy, especially considering that you are already a person who has not had easy experiences. Life is not easy, but it's part of the growth and the lesson of it. I don't think that this queen would be adorned with so much if she didn't go through what she went through, Look at it from that angle, consider that angle, if anything. And there was something else that jumped out to me about this. A change of life and circumstance. Yes, a change of life and circumstance. And I think this change specifically has to do with this, uncovering the sense of resentment, uncovering the sorrow. Queen of Swords is very sorrowful. And she's always prepared for, her eyes are just, they feel a bit hopeless. So that may be something that may be a stage of life that you're in right now. Just a sense of hopelessness and a lack of understanding how it is that things will get better. But with the Two of Discs, it's also that you know somewhere inside of you that things are okay, that you're going to be okay. They may not look or feel okay right now, but you know everything will be fine. Everything, you are well, you are protected, you are loved, you really are. By kind, benevolent forces that are so much bigger and greater than whatever it is that could ever get you down. So much greater and bigger than that volcano, you know? Let me touch on the Two of Discs as well. And I think I can call it, because I think that this kind of pain requires engagement and presence with it and a willingness to feel it through, a willingness to walk through that valley, you know? So picture this being the valley or the shadow of death, and you just need to be willing to go through it. Just go through it. I will say, picture this as you, and that as the angel guardian that walks with you. You don't journey this alone. You can't. It's too painful. It hurts too bad. And it's too this kind of feeling of resentment and like a dissatisfaction with life feels like a constant low groan every day. You just, everything you do makes you want to, and that's not what you deserve, honey. But it is work. It's all a lesson. It's intentional. It's assigned, but you've got this. Certainties and uncertainties, stress, pressure, choices, working with body energies, deciding whether to take an uncertain path, embracing the unknown, a compelling message, a compelling mesmeric urge in life that is in danger of becoming slightly addictive. This card is so nuanced in this deck. It's so nuanced. It's not just about the choices. It's not just about choices. It's about the, like I mentioned earlier, the intention of them, the root of them, you know? Being in this period of frustration and resentment can cause a domino effect in that every choice you make from here on out, it comes from this place. So that you end up being at risk of kind of manifesting more of this energy, you know? Because you're doing everything from this place. So obviously, how else is life going to happen? How else is it going to grow? What other part is it going to grow from? Other than this resentment that you are kind of constantly functioning in. But no worries. Again, like I said, you are protected. So you're protected and you're aware. I get the sense of the fact that you are connected with your body. Or your body is connected with you. Let me rather say that, so that you understand that your protection and your alignment is non-negotiable. It's not something that the universe goes, sometimes you're aligned, sometimes you aren't. Did you do a good thing today? Nah, you're not. You didn't do anything, you're misaligned. No, you're always aligned no matter what you do, no matter what choices you make, no matter what you think, you're always aligned. And you should allow that to take precedence over everything. You should look into listening to your heart more, tapping into your emotions, and actually asking that question. I mentioned this in a previous reading. Actually tap in more consistently and ask yourself, never mind. It's not so much about asking yourself how you feel. It's more about checking in with past feelings that have run their course. Yeah. Okay, journaling. Writing down. The action of writing down will be helpful. Maybe not journaling, but like I said, writing down pains that you want to release, low parts about your living experience and shit that you want to release, and then burn that shit, and watch it burn. And be quiet and still as you observe that paper burn, so that you respect the release of that and you allow that ritual in itself to do the work. So that all doubts within you that may say, will this work? Will it not work? It will work because you sat and you gave it the respect, You sat and you watched it. You watched the fire burn. That's why it's going to work, because you were intentional about making it work. Do you get it? You have to be intentional. And it seems like there's a lack of intention happening right now, but all will be rectified with some stillness. Yeah. If you do feel called to rest, not go out, then you should continue answering that impulse. Sorry for kind of shitting on you before. It's good that you're lying down, you're tired, you're taking your time. Just keep lying in bed. Really sorry about that. Different frequency now, as I'm seeing clearly that it's something you need. Compassion. Yeah, you need more compassion. Deciding whether to take an uncertain path is, I'm feeling called to mention that if you have felt considerations in resigning from your job, it seems as though the answer is more leaning towards a yes. Obviously, don't go straight into it. But yeah, that consideration is not by mistake. Try not to worry about your expenses or like a kind of like the lifestyle change. That's inevitable, but it's not going to be as bad as you think. If you are considering resigning, that's a very specific message. Embracing the unknown. If the fool was here, then I would have said, oh, you go for it. Definitely quit. But yeah, it seems like there's still more to uncover. There's more to uncover, but there is more uncovering. So this is great. It's heavy, but it's good. It's medicine. It's necessary. It will be beneficial, extremely beneficial in the long run, and not as long as you think. Like I said, not as long as you think. In a matter of months, life will be so different for so many of us. And I think that huge shift, the way that life is going to change for so many of us at the same time, is going to cause a kind of energetic ripple effect in the energetic matrix that I think is just going to bring about more change. And we're just going to be in this crazy tumbler effect, in this washing machine of change. I feel so excited about it. I really do. This is definitely energy that I relate to. Like I said, I don't know if I mentioned in this one or in the intuitive channeling, I started my day crying over a very, very deep wound. Very deep. I definitely plan on activating the sense within, sense of stillness, meditating. I exercise like a maniac, where I hurt myself and I've had to really slow down because I came in running. But that's been very helpful, maybe helpful for you too. Doing research on 3i Atlas. I remember this light, ever since learning about 3i Atlas, reminds me a lot of 3i Atlas and the astrological shifts and how there's really something bigger than us out there. How it's possible that we are in a simulation. Very possible. And then we have justice beneath the deck, which has been also a very common theme amongst the collective. So know that this work that you're doing, this skunky work that you're doing, it's not going to go without its respect and acknowledgement from the universe itself. I also moved the cards around and saw the world. So this is a very universal gift. This experience, painful, lots of subconscious work, but it is a gift that you will achieve, that you will like fly through. I also get the sense that like I said, keep an eye on the next moon cycle. I do think that the next moon cycle will come a lot sooner than you think. I think linear time has changed shape so intensely over the past few months in particular. So you'll be surprised. Please don't feel despondent or like, oh, when will things go right? Or like you're on this long journey with no end. Time is nothing. Just try to be in the present moment and try to be still. Try to be with you within, you know? Just want to take in more, see if there's anything else. Sorry, I was looking at the time. Yeah, I am getting that compulsion to leave. I'm getting a sense of something is hurting and you feel a compulsion to leave it. Something that was so familiar to you, something that you never thought you'd ever feel this way about. Maybe a relationship or a work situation, a job, a friendship, a connection, a habit that you dedicated yourself to, a project, a creative project. You were deeply connected to it. You loved it. You said you loved it. A person, you said you loved them so much that you'd be with them for evsies. And now that sense of for evsies is it feels like something greater is calling you, something greater, something more. Yeah. It's not satisfying at all. This thing that used to be really satisfying, that you loved so much, is really not satisfying at all, and it's kind of hurting. In its lack of satisfaction, it hurts. It hurts that it's not satisfying. Whatever it is that is unsatisfying is hurtful. It's in itself. Lots of pain going on, lots of layers of pain going on. A misalignment between your decisions and your heart. Yes, baby. Okay, hold on. I'm almost done. Yeah, I'm getting the frequency of a very guarded woman. Very, very, very defensive and afraid and exhausted and overworked. I'm also getting the sense of a guarded feminine. So if I'm reading for a man, your tender parts are craving more tenderness. You feel so overhardened by life. And I think this is something that's happening with a lot of men in general. Yeah, especially with like the movement of men are trash. It's gained a lot of like speed, especially this year. And yeah, a lot of men just need a hug. But anyway, yeah, I think that's all I have. I'm trying to see if there's anything specific, any specific messages that I can trail off to. Yeah, I think I mentioned everything. Again, please consider watching the intuitive channeling, as I do feel that I was a lot more hopeful and uplifting in that one. I had a lot more uplifting, hopeful messages to say. This felt very much like a tutoring session or something, where we're really facing like we're facing the cracks and the gunky, boring shit, like we're filling in the forms. This was a very admin type reading. The intuitive channeling in the description of this video is a lot more uplifting. And in my opinion, informative, practical. There's a lot more to work with in that one. However, if you do feel that this was enough for you, then bless and thank you so much for watching. And I'm always so grateful for the people who tune in. Please be aware as well. I did see that so I don't have the chat window open, but I do see that I have statistics of the way the video is viewed and interacted with. And I saw that there were chat messages inside. Please be aware that these readings, these specific ones, they are not for chats or asking questions. I'm sorry that I haven't showed up for the Tarot and Chill. I will make a plan to do that very soon. I do feel it in my bones. I feel called to do that. So I will do it very, very soon. You can expect that. Watch out for the way that I interact on social media, Twitter and Instagram, if you want to find out more about when I do that. It's very random, very impulsive. So if you catch me, you catch me. If you don't, then you'll just have to catch me next time. I go on for at least an hour at a time. So you will be able to catch me if you really were meant to. And thanks always. I will see you in the next live stream.